This is Mary Kay with Country Music Matters, and we welcome somebody sort of new to us, Tenille Arts. Now, you're from Canada.
I am.
Are you living now here in Nashville, or are you still in Canada?
I am living in Nashville. I've been here for about 3 years, and I made my first trip to Nashville when I was 15. So I've been coming here for quite a while.
Now, it says you kind of, your little background was your mom's neighbor, your neighbor heard you singing. So you started, like, after that, to really work on getting your path to become an artist. And once you hit that stride, what have you overcome? What have you seen? What are some of the toughest struggles you've had?
I think just the toughest struggle that I had was really trying to figure out who I was as an artist and not trying to copy anybody, just really digging into the creative side and songwriting and who I wanted to be as an artist. And I found that as soon as I stopped trying to sound like anybody else, that was when I really found my sound and was able to create music that I'm really proud of.
Now, I know you've been asked this a million times, your name.
It's my real name, Tenille Arts. I was named after Captain and Tenille. And then my last name's Arts. We have an arts family farm in Saskatchewan, Canada. And so, yeah, that's where it comes from.
Now, do you come from a musical family?
My family is a little bit musical. Everybody really appreciates music, and my siblings are all musical. They can sing and play guitar, but they haven't really taken it as a career path. But they all love music. My mom has, picked my cover songs for years. She's always so good at just picking songs or sending me things and song ideas. There's just everybody in my family loves music.
And I know you have a good support system, but did they at any time just say, make sure, are you sure this is what you want to do?
I think when I made my first trip to Nashville, that was when my dad was kind of like, is this really what you want? Is this where you want to go? And are you too young to be doing this? And, I just assured him that, no, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to stick with it for forever. So
you got your first publishing deal in Nashville. Was that in 2006? 16, rather, I'm sorry.
2015, 2016, that's when I moved here. And a publishing deal was something that I didn't even know that's kind of where everything would start. But that's where it started for me. And I signed that deal, and kind of everything else just fell into place after that.
And your debut EP really just skyrocketed. You were on the charts in Canada. The ones here, iTunes, about millions of streams. That had to be like, wow.
It was amazing. I remember the moment when I released my EP and then my full-length album. Both times it was kind of the same feeling. I've never had that feeling with anything else in my life. It was really just incredible to see your music, impacting people enough for them to go buy it and stream it and all of those things. I really love
What
that.
have some have been the favorite songs that you selected to put on this EP or the album?
I think one of my favorite songs that sums up my life up would be the song called Rebel Child, which is the title of the album. And I think, to me, a rebel child is someone who makes their own path and does their own thing, and so it's my story coming from a small town in Canada, moving to Nashville, and just following my dreams and going full steam ahead.
So you co-wrote, now that came out in October of 2017, and you co-wrote 10 of the 11 songs.
I did.
That has to be a very proud moment to know that how much you put into the project.
Yeah, it's really amazing to see everything come together, because when you write songs, you hear them at their rawest form. They're just guitar, vocals, and so to hear those songs come to life and then put them together on an album, that's an incredible thing.
Do you have any type of direction that you kind of do with your songs, or just you might hear something, you might see something, just whatever happens?
Yeah, I'm never really too strict about writing. I'm kind of like, if I sit down with a new co-writer and I feel like usually the first idea is one of the best. I feel like when you walk in and you kind of get a vibe for somebody and they put out an idea, I like to roll with that or kind of just do what feels good in the moment.
Now, how do you feel about writing with somebody like new that come in that you just met and you're not really real familiar? It's got to be quite a learning curve, really, for both of you.
It is. I mean, I kind of like to compare it to a first date. I mean, you know absolutely nothing about these people, or maybe you do. Maybe they're established and you've kind of looked them up and learned enough about them to talk with them. But I just like to sit down and start having a conversation. You know, where did you grow up? When did you start writing? All of those kind of things, and then it kind of just leads you into something that maybe you'll have in common, and then you can focus on that and write there.
Now, did you take music going in school?
I did. I started classically training with voice lessons when I was 8 years old. I did those for 10 years, and then in school we had an amazing music program, and pretty much I think it was 3/4 of the school was in the music program. So I was really, really lucky to be a part of all the choirs and the show choir and the band. You know, there was just so many opportunities to be.
So you were almost a pro by the time you came here on the stage, huh?
Oh, I don't know about that, but I definitely loved it. I mean, that's what I did every day.
But it had to help you singing like that in a choir, and then now that where you're at, you can get on stage, you're a little bit more comfortable with that.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody always told me, because I used to be super nervous all the time, and everybody told me just the more you do it, the more you're going to feel more comfortable, so that really helped.
And is there any teachers in particular that really were a big influence on you?
Yes, my voice teacher, Mary Johnson, she was amazing, and Colleen Weimer is the music director at the high school that I went to, and she was incredible. She made so many kids love music and appreciate music, so I really loved her.
Is it hard? I know it is, but your road and like where you're at is an independent artist. I know you've just signed a record deal with Reviver Records.
Yes.
But that's a little, I mean, it's a big deal, but the indie part of it before had to be tough.
It was a little tough, but I kind of just decided to surround myself with great people that really believed in my music, and then we just kind of started learning how to do everything on our own. We started learning how do we get songs on iTunes, how do we, do all of these things, and brought people on board on the team to make everything happen.
And that just happened this year, right? You got with Reviver?
Yeah, just actually 3 months ago.
That had to be very exciting
and
very
exciting.
rewarding, like a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, and it kind of all started with when I performed on The Bachelor. Gator Michaels from Reviver came out to the show. We kind of had a viewing party, and I did a show before we watched the actual episode, and everything kind of just took off from there.
So what song did you sing on The Bachelor?
I sang a song called Moment of Weakness, and it wasn't on the Rebel Child album that I had just released, so then we released a deluxe album with 2 versions of the Moment of Weakness song, and when I found out I had the opportunity to perform, I just went through all of my songs that I had ever written and found a love song that I thought would be so perfect for that moment, and sent it in, and that's how I ended up on the show.
Was it from experience or just an inspirational thing, this song?
The song, it was from experience. It's really about letting your guard down and finally allowing yourself to fall in love in that moment of weakness that you just, you let your guard down. And so, I mean, I think everybody kind of goes through that at some point when they allow those feelings to go and to fall in love with someone.
Now, the women of country are really standing strong on the charts in the business. Who were some of your influences of the women?
Yeah, I grew up listening to the Dixie Chicks and Shania Twain, so I had just some really powerful women to look up to in the country music world, and then of course like Faith Hill. I could go on and on. There were so many incredible women to look up to, and now there's kind of this new community of women here in Nashville, and I look up to them because we're all kind of working towards the same thing.
Who would you like, male or female, to take on one of your songs? and
Oh, to
perform it,
perform
and
them?
put it on an album or one that you wrote?
I would love it if Carrie Underwood sang one of my songs because I feel like I've got a few ballads that she could really just nail them.
Now you're part of what's called the Song Suffragettes. Can you explain that to us?
Yeah, so it's a group of women here in Nashville. I auditioned for them. There's about, I think, 200 women that are a part of this, and basically every Monday night at the Listening Room here in Nashville, they have a show. So they kind of just, it's always different girls. They kind of switch us in, and we play. And it's on Periscope as well. And basically the whole thing behind it was we felt that we wanted to stand strong as women in the industry, and what better way to do that than standing with other women and just performing, creating great music together. So it's a really great community of women.
There's a lot of young, great women here in Nashville that I've met, and I've just followed them, and the vocals and the powerhouse some of these women have has just really been impressive to me, and I applaud them because it's not an easy road for the women, period, but as an indie artist or trying to get out there on your own, it's very hard.
It's difficult, but I mean, you gotta enjoy the ride. You can't just look towards this end destination. You have to enjoy all of the different moments and all of the different seasons that come with this industry. So
Now you've been at this a while, and you still have a ways to go and you will have great success. What do you find has so far been your biggest reward?
my biggest reward has been the record deal. I think just that was everything coming together in the most perfect way that I never expected it to. And I got to keep all of the people that I've been working with and really just join together with another group of amazing people. And they've been working so hard and doing so many things behind the scenes, and I think it just feels really great. It's kind of like a pinch me moment when you finally feel like, okay, I have these people that really believe in me and we're going to be successful.
So what do we got for the rest of the year?
So right now I'm out on a radio tour. I have not announced a single yet, but I've been out for, I think this week I'll go out on my 4th week, and I think that'll keep going until the end of summer. So that's kind of what I'm going to be doing.
Do you have new music you're working on to come out now?
Yeah, I just recorded 7 new songs, so we're just kind of seeing where those songs fit and how soon we should release that, and just trying to plan all that stuff.
So, social media, it's the thing. So where can everybody find you?
Yeah, everybody can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just at Tenille Arts. I'm also on YouTube. I've got videos up on there, so if anybody wants to follow me, I love chatting with everybody.
Have you been to CMA Fest as a fan?
I have been, yeah.
It's quite a difference, isn't it?
It is quite a
Quite a
difference.
difference. Quite a
Actually, I
difference.
have friends visiting, and they're out in that heat, walking around, going to all the different shows, and I love both sides of it. Yeah.
That's good. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was really glad to finally meet you. Enjoy the rest of your CMA Fest, and we'll look forward to more music in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.